What's going on, guys? In the Works Media, and we're playing some more Battlefield 3 today, and we're doing some more G36 action because this is actually a game from that last session that I had, and a lot of people wanted me to talk a little bit about the G36, so I'll do that in this video. But I'll talk a little bit more about playing solo and about Rush in general, because you don't see me playing a lot of Rush. The reason I don't play a lot of Rush isn't that I don't like the game mode. I think that it's an okay game mode. It's very high action. You see a lot more people than you do in Conquest. But my biggest qualm with Rush is just how campy it can get at times, and how you don't get a lot of XP from playing it, and it's really hard to level up in this game. So I'm all about getting XP. I'm all about playing the objective, but it seems like it's really hard because there's only one objective in Rush, and that's to plant the two bombs at each base. So not a lot of chances for XP. So I don't know. I mean, it's a fun game type. Is it for me? It's not my favorite, but I do play it. I played it a lot in Bad Company 2, so maybe I've just had my fill of it. But you notice I'm planting these mines. I planted a lot to the left of the main road and then one coming up the middle. So if you're looking for a good strategy on defending this base, this is a great one. This is the one I use almost every time on Caspian border. The main road is obviously going to have mines on it. If you're a tank driver, that's the first thing you're going to think about as you see me get screwed over by the A91. That's the first thing you're going to think of, and there's going to be mines on the main road. It's pretty obvious, because I mean that's the first place I would look. So what I like to do is I like to put my mines there, and I mean I make it really obvious that the mines are there. It's like, okay, here's the mines, but then I like to put them a little bit to the left of the main road through those trees that you saw me at the first part of this, like up through here and down into this valley right here where this guy's running, because the tanks will often turn off into this and come over the hill and then just kind of fall down the hill right where I'm running right now. And I've noticed that that's a very, very common thing for them to do. They tend to not go far left. They tend to not go far right, where you see my teammates dying over there. They either take the main road or they take a huge beeline, as this tank is completely cockblocking me from planting my mines. But I put a couple there too, just for good measure, because a lot of times if they do come around, sometimes I'll push through the fence and try to squeeze through there. But you see there, my mines pay off, and I actually get that guy in the valley I was talking about. Unfortunately, they plant the bomb right here, and I'm not able to get to it quick enough because I'm looking around, and as soon as I kill that guy, it blows up. So, pretty bad beat there. I should have had that base, but that's all right. We're gonna keep on trucking with our G36. But I did talk a little bit about the G36 in my last video. I'll talk about it a little bit more since people wanted to know my opinions on it more in depth as I try to shoot my squad mate. I do think the G36 is one of the best weapons in the game. It does have a good rate of fire. It does do substantial damage compared to some of the other, short range rifles, carbines, as you might like to call them, which is I think they have shorter stocks on them than what you might be used to. It was not really submachine gun category by any stretch of the imagination, nor is the AK-74U, which I think it's the AK-7 or 74S in this game. 74SU, I don't know. But those are both actually assault rifles in essence, but they're just, they have the shorter stock on them. So this does do almost the same amount of damage. It's not really a you're not really gonna suffer at the medium ranges. What's really gonna hurt you is the long ranges. So if I was gonna suggest using this gun, I would definitely suggest using it if you're like an in-your-face player, kind of like how I'm playing here. That's why it fits the engineer so well. It's because if you play aggressive with rockets, destroying vehicles, getting in their face like an engineer should. An engineer should always be on the offensive. I mean, sure, there's the, if you're trying to pick people off with your, your G36 or your whatever weapon you're using, your PDWR, whatever they call that. And look at this spawn right here as I kill Oscar the Grouch in the dumpster. I guess he spawned on him right there. But if you're sitting back trying to pick people off with your assault, your engineer class, you're not doing it right. You need to be out there shoving rockets down tanks' butts, planting mines, repairing vehicles, driving vehicles. You don't need to be, you got to play aggressive with engineer. I see so many engineers just sitting in the back of the map, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Doesn't really benefit the team too much when the engineers on the team are just, camping. So the engineer is definitely an aggressive class. You got to play smart with it though, because you got to realize that sometimes targets are going to be out of your range, especially with, the G36. So I try to hang around this base right here. I've got my mines planted. You see me get another victim right there. So my mines are planted, and I'm not really too worried about them taking this base at this point, because I'm like, okay, I got to get a pretty good perimeter. It seems like my squad is the smart squad out of our team, because this team we're on is not very bright. So our squad's pretty pretty on top of things. I do notice there's a spawn beacon pushed all the way up, which is probably a pretty bad idea at this point. The only thing I could see a benefit from having a spawn beacon up that far is you could spawn behind them if they somehow push past us. But you notice how that tank is trying to go around where my mines were. It actually hits a mine. I don't know if you noticed, I got a hit marker. It hits a mine, and I shoot that rocket into it, and then someone else is going to finish it off here. But he tried to go around, and he actually hit one of my mines. So they do pay off, guys. I mean, where you saw me plant those mines are the best for this last base defense. Because like I said, the experienced tank driver, it's going to go around, but they're also going to go through that valley I told you about, because they don't usually expect people to go through there. So that's pretty cool. I got another hit marker right there if you notice. But the mines, you know, pretty self-explanatory. Put them where you think they're going to go, and then put them where you think they're not going to go, and you'll get a lot of kills doing that. You see them plant the last objective there, but it's no big deal because we are golden. They are not going to penetrate us. We've got our rape chastity belt on. They're not going to penetrate us. But bad jokes aside, hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick little last base defense here on Caspian border. Let me know if you'd like to see more rush and what weapons you might like to see, because Battlefield's getting to the point where, you know, you've seen a lot, but we have back the Carcan, I think that's how you pronounce it, coming back, or coming here soon, so hopefully I'll get some of that up. But let me know what you guys might like to see, and check out 2 videos you guys might have missed early in the week. I did post 2 Battlefield videos. We had one that talks about the importance of spotting, whereas one talks about how the G36 and, you know, just looking about how to play solo, how to use the engineer as like this kind of solo class to make it easier on you when you don't play with a squad. But I'll see you guys next time. Peace.